time for Meet the Team, baby.
Yeah.
Meet the Team. Who do we have today?
We got Cheyne today, man. We're keeping Meet the Team going with Cheyne.
Yes. Hell yeah. Shout out to Cheyne, an amazing human being, asset to the team. He's on the social media team, and he focuses on metrics and analytics as well as paid advertising. He's an absolute asset and a joy to work with, and he's up in the Pacific Northwest, but I've gotten to meet him several times when we're on tour, and it's always just such a joy to hang with him and spend time with him, and I'm excited to hear what he has to ask here.
Hey, Harry. Hey, Sam. Thanks for the opportunity to share a little bit about what I do on Team Mack and for the chance to ask a question and get a peek behind the scenes or look under the top of the dome. My name is Cheyne. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so I work on the social media team here at Team Mack. I've been with the team for a little over 3 years now, and it's truly been one of the biggest blessings having the opportunity to work alongside so many talented and passionate people. On the team, my role consists of social media posting, metrics and analytics review and reporting, paid advertising, and whatever else may come my way. And it's been a blast so far. I've loved every second of it. Now, before I get to my question, I wanted to note that as a dad of 4 kiddos myself, I know firsthand just how much starting a family completely rewires your brain and shifts your worldview. It's wild, it's challenging, and it's a beautiful ride. Now, having recently stepped into that chapter yourself, my question or questions are about how a change so significant, so major impacts you and your artistry. How has becoming a father and starting a family impacted your creative process? When you drop into flow state, do you find yourself naturally gravitating towards themes of fatherhood and family now? And looking ahead, how do you foresee this new chapter coloring your creativity, your artistry, and your goals moving forward? Thanks again, Harry, for the chance to ask these questions and for the opportunity to be a part of something so incredibly positive, so incredibly joyful, and something that makes a difference in the lives of so many people across the world. I appreciate everything that you do. I appreciate everything that the team does. And I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Shout out my boy Cheyne. That's awesome. Great question, man. And always great to see your face, man, and to hear from you. Yeah, I mean, okay, so becoming a father, man. How has it impacted my creativity? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting because it's not, I wouldn't say that like my style, like when I get on the mic, has shifted per se. Or that like, you know, my content is now, it's not like I'm freestyling primarily about being a father, let's say. But I know that it will have a massive impact as soon as there is an opportunity. And I'm sure there will be an opportunity soon because there have been many opportunities even before I was a father myself to rap about this concept of fatherhood or being a parent or what that relationship is like from a parent to a child. And, you know, it's kind of interesting because often, like in my live shows, certainly, and often like on the happy hours that we do on Patreon when it's like one-on-one and it's very intimate, people will request that I do a freestyle about their kid or their kids, you know, and they'll share with me, you know, like what their favorite thing has been about the journey of being a parent. And, you know, one thing I really love about freestyling is it's an exercise in empathy, you know, and like I'm listening to what people are sharing with me and I'm trying to use my imagination to say, okay, well, what would it be like to be this person, you know, to be this person who is a parent, even before I had a daughter, you know, and I had never actually been a parent. It's like, I'm trying to imagine and use empathy to put myself in their shoes. And then I end up doing a freestyle from that perspective, essentially. And it's so beautiful and fulfilling for me to be able to do that and for people to feel seen and heard through that, you know? So it's a beautiful thing. But again, I have to use my imagination and I have to use the information that they're sharing with me. But now I have lived experience, you know? So now when the topic emerges, whether it's suggested to me directly, like I just explained, or if my brain suggests it to me through free association, you know, regardless of what the initial spark was to get me going, at some point I might suggest to myself that I start speaking on what it means to be a father, what it means to be a girl dad, you know, what it means to be expanding my family, what it means to have brought a human being into this world in this time, you know, and I can speak to that from a real lived place. And to be honest with you, I don't know how it's going to come out in those moments, but I know it's gonna come out. And so in that sense, it will have influenced my steez. And I think like more broadly, it's just made me really, having a daughter has just filled me with so much awe and so much wonder and so much love and so much appreciation for things that I may have taken for granted in the past. So, you know, it's easy to just be like, yeah, man, I'm a freestyle rapper. You know, that's my job. I do that. I do that every day. I get to go on tour. You know, it's how I earn my living, and I get to build out this great team of people who I genuinely enjoy being around. And of course, you know, I'm a musician. I've always been a musician, you know, and you can kind of just be like, yeah, that's what it is, man. Like everybody's got a job. I got mine. I do think having a daughter has made me like look at things in my life through new eyes, because I'm almost imagining like, wow, how's she going to see this? You know, like when she actually starts forming her own memories, like what's she going to think about me and my job and what I do, you know? And then it's made me reflect back on like when I was a tiny little kid and I first saw like somebody playing a drum set live, like at the Waterfront Blues Festival in Portland. And I was like, what is that? That's amazing, you know? Or looking up to my dad, you know, and being like, what does he mean he goes to work? What is work? You know, where is that? You know? And so like, I start to think about just, you know, how that's going to look to her. And there's all these crazy moments where I'm just like, whoa, dude, like I'll share, like, for example, like sometimes I'll just drum on her high chair, like really fast, like on the tray. I'll just like play some like rudiments with my hands, and she'll just be like staring at my hands, like zoned in. And then as soon as I'm finished, she'll just like, and then she'll like smile and she'll just start hitting it with her hands, like her own version of it, like as fast as she can. She's just like smiling and her whole body's in it. And we'll just go back and forth for a while. And it's not rap, but it's rhythm and it's music and it's my drumming, you know, and it's all connected to me. And I'm just like, whoa, like we're sharing in this music in this moment. You know, and she has a little toy piano and a little toy percussion kit. And so like, we'll try to have jam sessions. The problem is she's most interested in whatever instrument I'm on. So it's hard to have a jam session because she'll be at the piano and then I'll start playing on the drums and she'll immediately look at what I'm doing and then start reaching over to get the drum mallet. So then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So then I take the piano. But then now when I start playing that, she just reaches over and wants to play the piano. So we're still working on that part. But I do think that sharing in music with my daughter is like, what a meaningful thing, you know, for me and hopefully for her. And, you know, I'm not like of the mind that she'll be a musician and I'm going to train her up to be, you know, who knows, she might not be into it. If she's into it, cool. You know, I'll support in whatever way I can. But in these moments, it's like, wow, this is pretty special, you know, to be able to share music with my daughter because it's so meaningful to me and she's so meaningful to me. So yeah.
That's so dope, man. That's
yeah,
so dope.
bro.
But also too, like what you're saying earlier with how like it allows you to maybe take those vacation or like step away, like, and it gives you this whole other thing to focus on. Like, you know, that has to come into just when you go back to the creative side in some certain way, you know, so like it almost balances it out. So even if it's not directly affecting the bar specifically, it's just like your outlook, I would assume is
100%
affected.
Without a doubt, dude. No, that's a great point. Like she makes me appreciate the craft more, you know, because now she'll take me away from it and you know, she's in charge, right? Especially now. It's like I might think I'm going to go practice, but it's like, oh, she's struggling to go down for the nap. I guess I'm not going to go practice, you know? So and so she takes me away in those ways, but she also takes me away where I'm volunteering to step away because I'm like, man, I don't want to miss these moments. I want to spend this time with her. And then when I go back to working on the craft, yes, it is very much like taking little mini vacations throughout the day. You know, it used to be like mainly one thing. And now it's like, no, man, there's this other huge thing that is like the most important thing of your life so far. And that is, you know, being there for your daughter. So yeah, it's very healthy. Yeah. It forces balance in a way. And also it's, you know, it's very challenging, as any parent will tell you in certain ways. But yeah, I don't know. It's also one of those things where it's like, it's so annoying to say it because everyone says it. Like, where it's like, yeah, you'll understand if you ever have a kid, you'll understand. It's like, until then, you can't really explain it. Everyone would always say that to me. I'm like, oh God, this again, but now here I am on the other side of it. And it's like, it's so true. Like how it's on paper before you do it, you're like, that's going to be impossible. There's no way I can there's no way I can like accomplish my goals and also somehow raise a child. Like, how am I ever going to do that? Where's the time going to come from? And then it happens. And then you just find the time, and it all starts to work. And you shave away a lot of turns out you were just wasting a lot of time. That's one big piece. And then you just reprioritize. You're like, maybe that thing doesn't matter as much as I thought it did. So life-changing to say the least. And honestly and sincerely, like the greatest joy of my life so far. Like, and everybody says that and you have to say it, but like, I sincerely mean it so much. It's crazy.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Cheyne, man. Yeah. Much love to my guy. Always showing up with the best attitude, the best energy, just a beacon of positivity, man, for real, from within the team. And keeping us straight, man. Watching those charts, watching those numbers, making sure our content is working.
It's really good at what he does, man.
Incredible.
Like, great dude, really good at what he does, man.
High level.
So many insights that we wouldn't see without him. So
absolutely. Absolutely.